Viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Biology Vlogs. Myself Reshma Murali. Today I am going to start a new topic for CSIR UGC NET examination for life sciences. So let's start with unit 1, that is water. So in this topic we will be discussing about the important properties of water. Okay. So what is water? Okay. So we know that water is liquid at room temperature and it is a universal solvent for polar molecules. It has both cohesive and adhesive properties. So cohesive means it will attract the same molecule, self molecule, and adhesive means it has the tendency to attract other molecules also. And the density difference between solid and liquid states exists for water. So it has high specific heat capacity and it has polar molecules. So water is a polar compound because of the presence of hydrogen bonds. Okay, so what is hydrogen bonds? So we know that the water consists of mainly two molecules, that is oxygen and hydrogen. Okay, so oxygen have 6 lone pair of electrons in their outermost shell and hydrogen has 1 lone pair of electron in their outermost shell. So to complete the octet of both oxygen and hydrogen, they have to involved in covalent bonding. Okay, so they will share, in the case of covalent bonding, they will share the electrons. Okay, so oxygen will share the 2 pair of electrons with the 2 hydrogen bonds, 2 hydrogen molecules to complete the octet. Okay, so they will form a hydrogen bonds. Okay, so here you can see that center molecule is oxygen. It is involved in the covalent bond with the 2 oxygen molecules to form the hydrogen bonds. Okay, so what is the speciality of water? Okay, what is electronegativity? So definition of electronegativity is the affinity of an atom to attract bonding pair of electrons. The higher the electronegativity, the more attractive forces the atom has. So water has highest electronegativity. So electronegativity is the affinity of an atom to attract bonding pair of electrons. Okay, if the electronegativity is high, it means that it has the more attractive forces. It has more attractive forces towards the atom. Okay, so in the case of oxygen, the electronegativity is around 3.5 and hydrogen is 2.1. Okay, so what is the result of electronegativity on a water molecules? So we know that in the case of water molecule we have 2 kinds of molecule, that is oxygen and hydrogen. So electrons are pulled towards the oxygen, creating a slightly positively charged region towards the hydrogen. Okay, so if the electrons are pulled from hydrogen to oxygen, then the hydrogen molecule will get a slightly positive charge because it is electrons. Okay, and the oxygen will get, the electron receiving oxygen will get a slightly negative charge. So it is called a delta negative and the hydrogen will get a delta positive charge. Okay, this overall unequal charge is represented by the Greek letter delta for dipole. Okay, electrons are pulled away from the hydrogen towards the oxygen, creating a slightly positively charged region in the hydrogen molecules. So that electronegativity is formed. So polarity and hydrogen bonding in water. Okay, so the result of electron pull in water creates polar regions in the molecule. So we know that this pull, the electron pull in the water. So here you saw that the electrons are pulled from hydrogen to oxygen. thus getting hydrogen is slightly positive charge and oxygen is getting slightly negative charge. This creates a polar regions in the molecule. Okay, so we know that the bonding between the hydrogen and oxygen is that covalent bond, and between two water molecules there exist hydrogen bonds. Okay, so thus about the hydrogen bonds. So let's discuss about some organic molecules. Okay, organic molecules means best examples are hydrocarbons. Okay, hydrocarbons are simply long chains of carbon atoms with hydrogen atoms attached. These can be linear or cyclic. So hydrocarbons are long chains of carbon atoms with hydrogen atoms attached. These can be linear or cyclic compounds. Hydrocarbons may contain single, double or triple bonds between the carbon atoms. So hydrocarbons mainly have two molecules, that is carbon and hydrogen. So they can have single, double bond or triple bonds. Okay, so we group these into alkanes, alkenes and alkanes based on the type of bond. Based on the type of bond, we have grouped or we have classified hydrocarbons into three, that is alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. In the case of alkanes, there is only single bonds exist. In the case of alkenes, there between double bond exists between two carbon atoms, and in the case of alkanes there is triple bonds, the presence of triple bonds in between two carbon atoms. So the basics and functional groups which present in carbon atoms are hydrocarbons are amine groups, hydroxyl group and carboxyl groups. Carboxyl group means COOH, acid group. Hydroxyl group means OH group. Okay, amine group means there exists NH2 as a functional group in the hydrocarbon chain. Okay, so macromolecules. What are macromolecules? All large molecules in our bodies are created from monomers. The building and deconstruction of these macromolecules are done by two processes. So how these macromolecules are formed? So they are the building blocks of our bodies. For example, protein, carbohydrates, lipids, these all are macromolecules, and the building and deconstruction of these macromolecules are done mainly by two processes. First one is dehydration synthesis and the second one is hydrolysis. So what is dehydration synthesis? Simply put, we take small things and make one big thing. Okay, dehydration means removing water and synthesis means put together. Forming something is called synthesis. So dehydration means, so mainly macromolecules are formed by two processes, dehydration synthesis and hydrolysis. What is hydrolysis? We use water to break a big thing apart. It is called hydrolysis. Okay. So we will discuss more about macromolecules in coming classes. So next just discuss about carbohydrates. Okay. What is carbohydrate, its function and structure? Okay. The building blocks of carbohydrates are monosaccharides. So carbohydrates are a macromolecules. Okay, so now we just discussed about the macromolecule. So one of the macromolecules are carbohydrates. These are the building blocks. So monosaccharides are the building blocks of carbohydrates. All carbohydrates follow the generic formula of CnH2nOn. Okay, the general formula of carbohydrates is CnH2nOn. The examples of monosaccharides are glucose, fructose, then galactose. Okay, these are the examples of monomers. So monosaccharides, if we go to more details about the monosaccharides, there are two types of monosaccharides present. First one is aldoses and the second one is ketoses. Aldoses means the carbohydrates which have CHO group as a functional group is called aldoses. The example is D-glucose. So D-glucose have CHO as a functional group. So what is ketoses? Ketosis means in the case of ketose they have CO group as a functional group, means ketones. Example is fructose. So fructose is called keto sugar and D-glucose is called aldose sugar. So there are two types of sugar, aldose sugar and ketose sugar. Aldose sugar they have CHO group or aldehyde group as a functional group. Example is D-glucose. In the case of ketosis they have CO group or keto group as a functional group. Example is fructose. So the simplest monosaccharide is trioses. Okay. So let's see the derivatives of monosaccharides. So first one is glycosides. Glycosides are the derivative of monosaccharides. Example is ouabain. Okay, ouabain is a inhibitor of sodium potassium pump. So the next one is antibiotic streptomycin and the other derivative is sugar acids. Example is L-ascorbic acid or vitamin C. Okay. So other example of sugar acid is D-gluconic acid. Okay. So what is the difference between D-gluconic acid and D-glucose? So if we see the structure of D-glucose, we have CHO as a functional group, then HOH, OHH, HOH, HOH, CH2OH. So this is the structure of D-glucose. In the case of D-gluconic acid, there is only one difference. So the CHO group or aldehyde group of glucose is replaced by acidic group, that is COOH group, carboxyl group, to form D-gluconic acid. Okay. So other examples of monosaccharides are glucose, fructose, arabinose, ribose, xylose, fucose, NAM, NAC, etc. Okay. So sugar alcohols are also derivative of monosaccharides. Sugar alcohols example sorbitol, xylitol. Okay. The full form of NAM is N-acetyl muramic acid and NAG is N-acetyl gluconic acid. Okay. So next one is disaccharides. We have discussed about monosaccharides. So let's see what is disaccharides. So when two monosaccharides are joined together in a dehydration synthesis reaction, they form a disaccharide. So two monosaccharides join in a dehydration synthesis reaction, they form disaccharide. So here you can see that one molecule of glucose and another one molecule of glucose, they involved in the dehydration synthesis. So hydrolysis to form maltose. Okay, so maltose is an example of disaccharide. So here the H2O hydrolysis reaction, water is released to form bond between two monosaccharides. Okay, thus disaccharide is formed. So monosaccharide plus monosaccharide form disaccharide plus water. This is the reaction to form disaccharide. So there are many examples of disaccharides. So mainly there are three examples. So maltose, sucrose and lactose. Maltose is a disaccharide of glucose. Okay, so two glucose molecules combine to form maltose. The linkage present in the maltose is alpha 1,4 linkage. Okay, in the case of sucrose, glucose plus fructose. So monomer glucose plus one monomer of fructose to form sucrose. The linkage present in the sucrose is alpha 1 to beta linkage. Okay, so the next molecule is lactose. Lactose is the disaccharide of glucose and galactose. So the linkage present in the lactose is beta 1,4 linkage. Okay, linkage is very important. So other than disaccharides, we have polysaccharides. Polysaccharides means when very long chains of monosaccharides are arranged into a complex molecule, they will form polysaccharides. So polysaccharides have different structures and functions depending on the monomers that they produce them. So the first one is starch. So starch is produced when long chains of monomer D-glucose are bonded together. So the monomer of starch is D-glucose, but mainly starch have two components, amylose and amylopectin. Okay, so amylose is responsible for the blue color formation in the presence of iodine. Okay, amylose is responsible for the formation of deep blue color in the presence of iodine. That is, if you do a iodine test in the starch, it form blue color because of the presence of amylose. So we know that starch has many functions like storage, in long-term energy storage in plants. Okay, so this is the structure of starch. So in the case, this amylose is a linear branch polymer, and amylopectin is branched polymer of alpha D glucose. Okay, so amylose is the linear branched polymer of alpha D glucose, but amylopectin is branched polymer of alpha D glucose. So the linkage present in the starch is alpha 1 for glycosidic linkage. Alpha 1 for glycosidic linkage. So the next one is glycogen. Okay, glycogen produced when very long chains of the monomer glucose are bonded together. So in the case of glycogen also, glucose is the monomer, highly branched form of amylopectin. So major form of carbohydrate animals mostly present in liver and muscle are glycogen. It is formed by highly branched form of amylopectin. So amylopectin is the main component of glycogen. Function, I already told you that it's a form of carbohydrate, major storage form of carbohydrate in animals, mostly in liver and muscles. So this is the structure of glycogen. The next polymer is cellulose. So cellulose is a linear unbranched homopolysaccharide. So it is the unbranched. Starch and glucose are branched polysaccharide, but cellulose is the linear unbranched homopolysaccharide of D-glucose. The linkage present in the cellulose is beta 1,4 glycosidic linkage. Okay, beta 1,4 glycosidic linkage. The difference between starch and cellulose is the monomer glucose is reversed 180 degree each time in cellulose. So we know that cellulose is the structural compound found in plants. So and we can't digest cellulose. That also you know that. Okay. So most abundant organic compound in biosphere is cellulose. So it is formed by the linear unbranched homopolysaccharide of D-glucose by beta 1,4 glycosidic linkage. So the next polysaccharide is chitin. Okay, chitin is very important. It is the linear homopolysaccharide composed of NAG residues. NAG means N-acetyl gluconic acid. Okay, so it is the homopolysaccharide composed of NAG residues. Some people will be confused about NAG and NAB, but chitin is formed by the linear homopolysaccharide of NAG residues. Okay, joined by beta 1,4 glycosidic linkage. The linkage present in chitin is also beta 1,4 glycosidic linkage. The structural polysaccharide in the exoskeleton of insects. It is the structural polysaccharide in the exoskeleton of insects. Okay, So till now we have just discussed about the homopolysaccharides. So let's discuss about the heteropolysaccharides. Heteropolysaccharides means it is formed by more than two different molecules. Okay, more than two different monosaccharides. So the main example of heteropolysaccharide is the glucosaminoglycans or GAGs. GAGs. Okay, glycosaminoglycans or GAGs. So the major GAGs are hyaluronic acid, chondroitin sulfate, then heparin sulfate, heparin, keratin sulfate. These are the major examples of glycosaminoglycans. Okay, so in the case of peptidoglycan or murine, heteropolymer alternating beta-1,4 NAG and NAM units, peptidoglycan. So in the case of, we know that bacterial cell wall have a component called peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan is a heteropolysaccharide. It has two residues, which are the NAG and NAM units. Okay, there also beta-1,4 linkage is present. So lysozyme, we know that lysozyme is the enzyme. So it catalyzes the hydrolysis. It catalyzes the hydrolysis of beta-1,4 glycosidic linkage between NAM and NAG to degrade cell wall of bacteria. So what is the function of lysozyme? How it destroys the bacterial cell wall. So these lysozymes hydrolyzes the beta-1,4 glycosidic linkage between NAM and NAG residues in the peptidoglycan to destroy the bacterial cell wall. Okay, so thus they destroy the bacterial cell wall. So thus about carbohydrate and water molecules today. So in the next topic we can discuss about lipids, the structure and functions. So if you have any doubts, you can comment in the comment box. So see you in the next class.